Alright guys, we're back with another video on Around the Armstrong Table. Today, we're going to be doing the perfect steak. Can't wait to show y'all this. Let's get the steak going. So step one for the steak is going to be to dry brine the steak. And all that means is taking some kosher salt, and we're going to salt the steak obviously on both sides, and we're going to put it in our refrigerator for 24 hours. What that's going to do is allow the salt to penetrate the meat, and it's going to make it nice and tender, but it's also going to dry the steak out on the outside. It's going to be delicious. See you in 24 hours. Alright, so now that the steak has been in the refrigerator for 24 hours, what we're going to do is pat it dry. As you can see, the meat is a little bit of a brighter color, and that's because the salt has penetrated the meat. So what I like to do is pat it dry to make sure I get a nice crust on it. We're going to add some additional seasoning, which is pepper, and also some garlic powder. So once we have that ready to go, then we'll bring out the star of the show, our cast iron skillet. So this is how I like to do my steak on the cast iron skillet, or we can grill it. And now that we got the steak all seasoned up and ready to go, what we're going to do is we're going to get our cast iron skillet on the stove on a high heat, okay? And we want to get this to where we see a little bit of smoke coming from that pan, just like what you're seeing right now. And that is the greatest sound you could ever hear, really, on any type of meat that you're cooking, is that beautiful sizzle. So for a long time we've been told not to flip our steak multiple times, but I'm going to flip this thing as many times as possible to get that crust, because with this being a thick cut of meat, the crust is not going to develop as quick as you would like, so you have to play with your temperatures a little bit. But I'm just going to keep it at a high heat and make sure that I get all the sides. So we'll get each side, and trust me, I'm not going to forget about that fat cap. You definitely want to render that down. What that's going to do is, once I add in some butter later, that's actually going to allow some additional oil to cook into that butter. And I'll tell you, so we'll do a quick flip on this guy. I'm going to get that fat cap, like I said. See, you get that rendering, and that just, it's absolutely delicious. But you want to keep flipping this guy, like I said, as many times as possible. And what will happen is, slowly but surely, you'll start to see that crust develop. And believe me, we're not going to overcook this bad boy. It's going to be a perfect medium rare. And mine might even be more rare, medium rare, on the rare side. That's how I like my steak. Let's see. Now we're going to add some garlic to this, some fresh rosemary, and be generous with the butter. You're not going to eat all of it, but you want it for the basting purposes. And this is what makes a steak. See, right here. So look at that sizzle just go over the meat. I mean, that's exactly what people want. Tilt the pan just a little bit, and you're gonna go ahead and start coating that bad boy as much as possible. And what's gonna happen is, when I hold this up and flip that bottom over, you'll see that that crust is reformulated on there, nice on there. And that's exactly what you want. But look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. And the steak's not even cooked yet, because we still have to cook the other side. But this is what you want. Now we got to baste the other side. You know, you can't have one side tasting food, as Emerald Lagasse used to say. So once we get this going, we'll keep basting this steak and get it up to temp. And there's a couple different ways you can check the temperature. I could have used my meter probe, which is a wireless thermometer. That works absolutely great to tell you the internal temperature. But I have this as a timing thing, so you'll know. I mean, if you cook each side, I would say maybe, being as a thick cut of meat, I would say maybe 5 to 6 minutes on each side. Keep flipping, and I'm telling you, it's just gonna be absolutely perfect for when it's done. But keep going. See, develop that crust. And once you have the exact temperature that you want, you're gonna take the steak out. You want to let it rest, and but the meat is gonna be absolutely delicious because of that dry brine. The dry brine is really what makes it. Look at that crust, man. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy out, okay, and we'll let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, the steak's been resting for about 10 to 15 minutes, and look at this. This is going to be a perfect medium rare, and some people might say it's rare, but as you can see, all the juices of the steak is staying in the steak. I went ahead and made some quick potatoes in the air fryer, and all I did was just cut them up, put some oil on them, a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and just let them cook for a minute. So I went ahead and sliced the steak up and put a little bit of chives on it, and I'm telling you, this is absolutely delicious. Again, please like and subscribe to the channel, and from my table to your table, please enjoy. Look at that happy face right there.